Hi, my name is Jim, and it may be a sin, but this is the best darn place to get information I believe you've ever been. Why? Because we're going to do things the right way. We're going to do things cheaper, sometimes hundreds of dollars, and in this case, it's going to be thousands of dollars cheaper. How can we prove that? Call the Audi dealer. Look for parts. Try to get them. I'll explain at the end of the video, so I'm not wasting your time. But if you're interested how we came about this and why we did things the way we did and how it could not happen to you because you'll know first. All I'm asking you to do is like and subscribe. Your benefit for doing that is whenever I post a new video, you'll get notification and there'll be something to look at, because these Audis are extremely expensive to fix, and there's a better way of doing that, and it's the right way, but it's not the way that they want you to do it. Otherwise it'd be a lot cheaper to fix. Just like and subscribe. In my future videos, I promise there'll be no more talking or introductions or anything. I just wanted to tell you a little bit about me. I'm an electronics expert. I've been that for 40 years. Here is, I received a special certificate in a certified electronics technician, and that is worldwide recognized, and I scored 100. I have lots of experience, 40 years, and in this case, my brother-in-law has over 60 years of experience in mechanical repair. This guy can do it. He has knowledge and things you can't find in a textbook, you can't find on YouTube. It's happened to them before, and they found ways, better ways of doing things. Lots of gratitude and for him helping me and showing me different things, having the tools and getting this job done right. We put our heads together and we got this job done for $107. Yes, $107. You might be able to find other ways to get it cheaper, but believe me, once the wheel's off and the bearing's off, you can't wait days to go online ordering and wait while your car is taken apart and it's up in the air on a lift. You need it for work Monday morning. There's no other options. However, at the end of the video, I'll tell you how we did it and why we did it. Don't forget, like and subscribe. I hope you enjoy the video. Check out my Durango video at in the link, and you're going to see some really cool things that I invented and different ways of going about doing stuff. And again, it's thousands of dollars in repair bills that you saved, and I did them for under $300. In some cases, when the price of the job was $5,000. Pretty cool. Hope you enjoy it. Thanks. The bearing came off, but the race is still on the shaft. All the videos,
So basically what you have
instructions
is that part still stuck there, you know?
It stayed on there, the old one. Now
Well,
how
yeah,
do you get it out?
because it's a press fit, you know? And I don't have anything to get behind here to get onto that, so we'll have to put a little bead of weld and it'll drop off.
That's our mechanic.
It'll drop off.
He says he's got a trick. Stay tuned. Here's your mechanical question. The race to the bearing here is still stuck on the shaft. You don't want to ruin that shaft. How are you going to get it off? You can't put a screwdriver behind it. You can't work it off. What are you going to do? The answer is you're going to weld it.
And that's by this guy, who says he's gonna do it. Here we go.
Starting to come.
Is it moving?
A little bit. I got a crack in there now. To get a picture of your.
Okay, so you gotta have one of these in your backyard. 50-ton press. Here's the race right here where you built up the welding, and then he just put the welding in between that and the housing, and he pressed it out and it came out. Beautiful. In case you have any questions, please call Gene Brzezinski. Be careful of the orientation of the hub. The loose end goes on first, because if you noticed on the bottom part it was higher and it's shallow on top, or it's raised. And there it is. As soon as it stops, it's good to go.
Let's see where we're at here. Back down a little bit. Well, we got that up to about 15 ton. I'll just make sure. Bottom. That's a 2 3/16 socket. Make sure we're down all the way. Down there.
You see where my second and third fingers are touching the
They don't
bearing?
do this at
That's
Audi.
the part that sticks through the housing
maybe
that
they
won't
do and they
allow
don't
the
wanna tell us.
ABS sensor to fit in.
There's the bad ones.
That's the part
And there's
that's
the
wrong
wall
when
on
you
the
buy
side
it from the
that
store.
hold it apart.
The length of the bearing. This is where the ABS sensor gets mounted in. You see the silver piece on the left? That's the bearing coming through the housing. It won't allow the ABS sensor to fit in. But this one is showing that after we put the good bearing in that wasn't so long, that allows the ABS sensor to fit in there. Whereas before the bearing was sticking more from the left to the right, wouldn't allow it to fit.
Look at this one.
Well, you want to just look where you're at.
This is at the auto parts store. The bottom bearing is the OEM version, and the top bearing is where the aftermarket. Please take notice of the steps in the bearing. That's how you tell if you're mounting it on there right or wrong. It should fit on there loosely and then grab the bigger end later.
Right there is when you know it's successful. When that ABS sensor goes in, you know you got it. You notice one side is thicker and this side is thinner, and it has to go inside there.
Get a little more oomph out of it.
See the bearing on the inside? If the bearing is too long on the hub, it'll go through here and not allow the sensor to go in. It'll close up that gap. How do you know how many Newton meters to do it? Till the vein in your left neck pops out.
Or a ball rolls down your leg. Your left nut rolls out.
Yeah. Go 180 degrees more, and this stretches the thread. And this is why you don't need Loctite or anything, because it's a one-time use. You're stretching the threads and it'll never come out. Stand by for road test.
Not quieter now.
Hey, here's the truth about all this stuff that you just watched. First of all, you should know that we needed to get this car fixed so my son can go to work on Monday. It's a Saturday. It was by the time we made all the bad discoveries and the bearing was the wrong one. It was probably like 2 o'clock on a Saturday. And the place was only open at 3 o'clock. So it was like hurry up and run and scramble. So here's how this all came about. We bought the bearing, and we bought it from one auto parts store. I'm not here trying to knock anybody, but we bought it from a large chain locally, and they took the model number and everything, and it was the same bearing. However, it's just about, I'd say about 5 thousandths, maybe 8 thousandths longer than the original and the OEM bearing. So when you try to put it in, it cracked the bearing because it's, and the ABS sensor, once it was inserted, you saw where we were trying to put it in, and inside the hole, the bearing came through the hole, and there wasn't enough space for the ABS to fit. Bearing's too long. So we hurried up, we went to the Audi dealer, and they said this: if we don't use the bearing, we can return it. It's $600. If you don't use the bearing, we'll take it back. They don't take back electrical parts, but they do take back and they can tell, believe me, once it's scratched or whatever, they can tell if you used it. Don't try to screw these people. And we weren't going to use it. We didn't use it. So what we did was we got a refund from the one store, and this is the one time, like, you just don't know any better. I used to complain all the time. Well, there's a McDonald's over here and there's a Burger King right across the street. Well, that's what happened with these auto parts stores. There was 3 auto parts stores within a mile of each other. Why? I always said why, because I didn't know any better. I was ignorant. So in this case, when I was at auto parts store, the first one, I got the refund, jumped in the car with the OEM bearing from Audi in hand, because I stopped there first. And then I went to auto parts store number 2, and I told them I need wheel bearings. So they brought it out. I had my chronometers with me, calipers, and I knew what I was looking for. I knew the first problem that we would have would be that it would be too long. Well, this one was just a little bit longer. Maybe, if I remember correctly, it was only like 3 thousandths longer. It's still 5 thousandths of a difference from the other auto parts store. Now, it's the way I'm getting that measurement is I measured the OEM bearing. I measured how wide it was, the depth of it, and how it goes in that housing. And I took that reading as what it should be, because that's OEM, of course. It's $600. So auto parts store number 2, theirs was only 3 thousandths over. And why is this all happening? Why can't they make the bearing the same as the OEM? Because it's copyright infringement. You can't do that. They're going to have a lawsuit. You can't go make someone else's parts and sell it to somebody. But if it's a little bit different, just something different, you can do it, because it's not the same. They do that with medicines all the time. Whenever they say this medicine is exactly the same as that medicine, they change one molecule. The insulin hasn't changed for diabetics, hasn't changed since 1980. It's still the same potency as it is now. All they do is change one little molecule in that formula, and it makes it a new drug. So therefore, when I don't know, I think it's 2 years, it could be 4 years. When the drug's out, then generics are allowed to come out. But this isn't a generic form. There are no generic forms because they keep changing it, and it's like a new drug every year, but it's the same potency. It's not doing anything different, but they did change the formula so people can't copy it. Same thing here. They're making a little bit of difference somewhere. In my case, they should have made it shorter, not longer. However, when we installed the bearing, the one that was just slightly over, not as much as auto parts store A, it worked. There was enough room that the sensor slid right in. We had no problem. That's what to do. That's what I will do. When I find out that there's an expensive part, I'll go buy the OEM part, and now I'll go to the extra stores, and I will verify what's different, what's important. Color, thickness, it's a wheel bearing. What are you going to do? ID, OD, we'll find out the length of the bearing, which was the case, which was in this case. And that's a great way of doing stuff. That's what we went to. Now, this job took 6 hours to do. And with my brother-in-law's help, that was a savior, because it definitely would have been a 2-day job for me. Because when we found out that the bearing had broken and cracked, my son and I went to all these auto parts stores and the dealer and bought all the supplies. And meanwhile, my poor brother-in-law was stuck with the task of taking the other bearing off that was cracked. And, that's just the way it goes. But now live and learn. Now you know what to do. If you have something that mechanical, because my local mechanic, he won't install any aftermarkets. It's all got to be OEM. He wants it easy peasy. He don't want any callbacks. He don't want any problems. He wants to do the job and get it done. And that's the right way of doing stuff. However, when there's things that are this freaking expensive, I'm not paying $2,000 for a wheel bearing. There's not. I mean, if I had to, okay, I guess I could say I could have did it for $700, because we would have bought the OEM part, and thank God that we're blessed with having a lift and able to do it. I mean, you could have did it on your driveway, but I'm 56 years old and I can't bend like that anymore. You know, it's to the point where, you know, a lot of things came in handy. Having the press, you know, you could do without it. Yeah, there's some people who are going to complain that they can do it with a block of wood and a socket or an acorn or a walnut or something. I don't know. But there's lots of ways of doing things, but that's just the way that we did it. Now, on my Durango channel, that was a $5,000 transfer case. You wanted to buy that. It was, to have that installed was going to be about $5,000. A transfer case was $4,200. And then a used one would have been $2,500. We took the transfer case apart while it was still on the vehicle. We took it apart. Yeah, there's a lot of screws and a lot of things to do, but there were less because it was still on the vehicle. And we ended up buying the OEM chain because that's what to do there. There's no, you don't want to go buy any aftermarket chain. There's sometimes you can do that, but not in a transfer case. You want to do it. There's like 4 to 7 rows. There might be 7 rows wide of that chain. It's a very thick chain, and I didn't want to ever do this job again. So I paid the $300 for that chain, and we put it in, and it's still working today. There's no leaks. It's great. Works. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe. I got more videos, stuff you won't believe. This is not your average everyday. We're not going to show you how to change brakes or anything like that. These are all the things that I think are amazing discoveries. I have military inventions, ideas, suggestions, and awards that I was paid handsomely for. And now that I'm retired, I'm still doing it. I'm doing it for myself. I'd like to do it for another company. We'll wait and see. But right now I'm having fun making videos. Thanks for watching. Subscribe.